Hi everyone, happy Monday. Welcome back to another Clues by Sam. And as many of you know, today is Double Puzzle Monday. And we have the usual easy one, and we also play the hardest one from the bonus puzzles that we get every day if we subscribe to the newsletter. So if you're new here and you go to the daily puzzle website for Clues by Sam and you scroll a little down here, you'll find a subscribe text right here, and you'll see an input text box for an email address. So you enter your email address there and you get bonus puzzles and some insights from Sam themselves at the start of the week, each week. So if you want to do that and you're interested in more puzzles, be sure to do that. But also, last week I didn't do the double puzzle Monday, so I didn't end up actually reading the newsletter, so I was catching up with it today, and I found out that the community puzzles are finally available for most everybody, I think. And I want to take you here to the homepage where, if you have an account on the Clues by Sam website, you can get to the homepage here and you see your previous puzzle solves, some stats, and you can also see the puzzle packs, which are bonus packs that you can buy from Clues by Sam. There's the daily archive, which is what we're doing here. And there's also the community archive. So clicking this one, we can see community created puzzles. And I can create one myself. So I'll be sure to play with that later. But not everybody yet has the create option, as far as I can tell from the newsletter. But it's coming in the future for everyone. So if you guys have any puzzles when you have the option to create, you can send them to me and I'll try my best to solve them. All green. But I'm going to leave these ones here for now. I'll play with them later. I'm not going to play any community puzzles today. We're going to do just the daily one and then the hardest one from the newsletter. I'm really excited for that. So let's get right into it. We start today's with Donald telling us there are no instances below Christina who neighbor Harry. So there's 2 people below Christina who neighbor Harry, and none of them are innocents, both criminals then, and we click Donald's clue to dismiss it because we don't need it anymore. Now Gabe says there are exactly 2 innocents to the left of Donald. So there's 2 people to the left of Donald, both of those have to be innocents then, right? And we click Gabe's clue now. Now, Karen says that both instances below Akira are connected. Where's Akira? Okay, so there's 4 people below Akira, and 2 of them are going to be innocents, which means the other 2 are going to be criminals. So only the instances have to be connected. The configuration could be this. Could be that Frank and Sean are criminals and the other 2 are innocents because they would be connected, but the opposite couldn't happen. Now, Akira says that exactly 2 of the 5 criminals neighboring Harry are cooks. So Harry has 5 criminals and 8 neighbors total. So that means only 3 innocents, 2 of which we already know about, Christina and Donald. So 2 of those 5 criminals are cooks, and there's 2 cooks neighboring Harry total. So both of those have to be criminals. We review them now. And I guess we leave Akira's clue there because it reminds us that either Erwin or Igor are the last innocent neighbor for Harry. But since we have the tags, we can dismiss the clue. Logan now says that Vicky is one of 2 innocents in row 5, so Vicky is an innocent, there's a second one here. Kieran now says that both innocents below Akira, okay, we're leaving that there to remind us of this. Vicky says that each row has at least 1 innocent. So row 3 has only 1 person left and no innocent so far, which means that Jane, the person left, has to be an innocent. And that means because Jane is below Akira, that either Frank or Olive have to be the second and last innocent below Akira because they are connected to Jane. Sean, therefore, is not an innocent. Now we don't need Kieran's clue because these are tagged. And we do need Vicky's because row 4 might still need an innocent at some point in the future. Now Sean says there are a total of 6 innocents in columns A and B. So we know how many innocents are in column A, right? We know there's 2 below Akira and Akira themselves, so that's 3. So there has to be 3 as well in column B, and so far there's only 2 and 1 person left, Pip. So Pip has to be the 3rd innocent in that column, and we don't need Vicky's or Sean's clue anymore. Because row 2 also needs an innocent, so it's not really dismissed. Pip says there's an odd number of innocents above Zane. Okay, there's 1 innocent above Zane here, neighboring Harry, who's either Irving or Igor, and that's an odd number already because there's only 1 more person above Zane who could be an innocent, Rose, and if Rose were an innocent, there will be 2 total, and 2 is an even number, so Rose has to be a criminal, which means we don't need Pip's clue anymore. Rose now says that Harry is one of Logan's 3 innocent neighbors, so Harry is an innocent, and Logan needs 1 more innocent because Pip also neighbors him, so that makes either Kita or Igor the last innocent neighbor for Logan. We can tag them as well, and we don't need Rose's clue anymore because of the tags. Harry now says there's an odd number of criminals in column D, so we know there's 3 criminals in column D, right? 3 above Zane, and Zane is the only other person in column D who, if they were to be a criminal, we would have 4 criminals total. That's an even number, so Zane has to be an innocent, and now we don't need Vicky's clue anymore. How does that go? We don't need Harry's clue either. What other clue? Logan, Vicky is one of 2 innocents in row 5. So we have our 2 innocents already. So it's good that I didn't dismiss Logan's clue before, because now we found out that our 2 are Vicky and Zane, which makes Zola a criminal. Now we don't need Logan's clue. Zola says that both criminals in column A are connected. So as are the innocents, the criminals in column A also have to be connected, so we confirm that now, but before it wasn't the case necessarily. So that means that Olive has to be a criminal, and she was opposites with Frank, so Frank has to be an innocent. We don't need Zola's clue anymore. Olive now says there's an equal number of criminals in column C and D. We know how many criminals are in column D, right? It's 3 total, so column C has to have 3 as well, which makes Kita a criminal, which makes Igor an innocent because they were opposites, and Irving a criminal. And we are done the easy puzzle. So that was really good. Made good effort there to explain all of the mechanics of the opposites and tagging as I use it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And let's jump straight into the hardest one from this week's newsletter. So we have June 22nd here, and this is a hard puzzle. The newsletter also had some community puzzles recommended by Sam, but didn't want to dive right in. Let's just try this one, which is proved by Sam themselves. Now, Floyd says there are exactly 2 criminals below Nicole. So there are 2 people below Nicole, both of those have to be criminals. Click on Floyd's clue. Tyler says that exactly 2 of Chola's, I said it, is 2 of Chola's 4 criminal neighbors also neighbor Jose. Well, they share 2 neighbors, so both of those have to be criminal. And it doesn't tell us a total. Oh, it does. It tells us a 4 total. So 2 more here. Sia says that Logan and Nicole have only 1 innocent neighbor in common. Okay, so that makes either Gabe or Samira innocents, because they are the only people who could be innocents and neighbor both Logan and Nicole. Since we tag them, we click CS clue. Eli now says that only 1 of the 5 criminals neighboring Isaac is in row 3. In row 3, there's 3 people neighboring Isaac. Only 1 of them is gonna be an innocent. Oh, only 1 of them is gonna be a criminal. Already mixing up the terms. Which means 2 innocents here. Isaac needs 3 more criminals to total 5, right? Because there's 1 in row 3 and Eli himself. There's 2, so 3 more. We don't know about Gabe yet. So how does that go? Isaac shares 3 people with Chola, who is gonna have only 1 innocent neighboring them here. So it doesn't matter what Gabe is. What matters is the other 2 people adding to Gabe are gonna make 2 criminals neighboring Isaac. So if this is the configuration, we would have 4 criminals neighboring Isaac, which means the 5th has to be Chola. I really don't know how to say that name, and I do think it's offensive in Spanish. So sorry about that. But you can educate me in the comments. I'm from South America, by the way. Only one of the 5 criminals neighboring Nicole is Katie's neighbor. Only one of the 5 criminals neighboring Nicole, who has 8 neighbors total, and shares 4 with Isaac and 4 with Logan, also shares, who is it? 5 criminal neighbors of Nicole. So we know that Katie and Nicole share the same neighbors that Nicole and Logan have marked as opposites, which means one of them is going to be a criminal for sure. That's the one criminal that Chola is talking about. Which means that Logan himself couldn't be a criminal. And that makes Nicole and Olaf opposites because of Isaac and his total here. Now Logan says, I don't need Eli's clue anymore. Logan says that each row has at least 2 criminals, so row 3 has 1 criminal so far, and needs a second one who could only be Katie. Katie now says that only one of the 3 criminals neighboring Tyler is above Zoe. Above Zoe, there's 2 people neighboring Tyler, only one of which is going to be a criminal, so they are opposites. And Tyler has 3 criminals neighboring him. One of them is Sia. The other one is going to be in row 3. They could be how does that go? How does that go for Samira? Because oh, I don't need this anymore. Let's make Olaf a criminal. Let's make Olaf an innocent, actually, because he's opposite with both Nicole and Uma, so these 2 will be criminals, and that will give Tyler his 3 criminal neighbors, which we know from Katie. So Zoe and Wanda both will be innocent, and Samira as well, which would make Gabe a criminal. That's okay for everybody. Who else do we know about? 5 criminals neighbor Nicole. So how many are there now? There's Gabe, Isaac, Tyler, and Uma, so Jose would have to be a criminal as well. And Bonnie and innocent because of Chola. Now, clear everything and try the opposite. Let's make Olaf a criminal, which would make both Nicole and Uma innocent. That doesn't really force anybody else to be a criminal, does it? I don't think so. But Tyler would still need 1 more criminal. I guess, can we ever make Samira that criminal? If we do, Gabe would then be innocent. And both Bonnie and Jose would be criminals. But then how many criminals does Nicole have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that works. So the thing is, Wanda and Zoe could never be the criminal. Because either Olaf is an innocent and then all of Tyler's criminals are here, and neither of them is Wanda or Zoe, or Olaf is a criminal and then it forces the other criminal to be Samira so that Nicole can have 5 criminal neighbors. Is it? I don't think so. Because if Samira is innocent here, Nicole still has 5 innocents neighboring her. So what can't be innocent, or who can't be innocent, is Jose. Let me try and make Jose an innocent just to show that to you. If Jose is an innocent, that makes Bonnie and Gabe both criminals. Because of Gabe, now Samira is an innocent. Now Nicole has Isaac, Gabe, and Tyler as criminals, but she needs 2 more. So that would force both Olaf and Uma to be criminals, and we know that they are opposites, which doesn't work. Doesn't work. They were tagged as pink, I think, as opposites here. So Jose needs to be a criminal. We can clear all the lower tags. Return these 2 to pink. Jose now says that Wanda is one of Samira's 3 innocent neighbors. Wanda is an innocent then. Samira has 3. Currently she has 2, Logan and Wanda. So the third one could either be Nicole or one of these guys. How do I... Oh, Bonnie and Gabe are opposites now. How does that go? What about Nicole? Because Nicole, looking at that now, Nicole has Isaac and Jose and Tyler, that's 3. 4 with either Gabe or Tamira, and 5 with either Olaf or Uma, so that works. The tags are fine. But the thing is, shall we look at Zoe? Because Tyler could have Olaf be an innocent and both Nicole and Uma criminals, as we did before, which would force everybody else to be innocent. And Gabe and Bonnie to be like that. So now Nicole has her 5. That's fine. So is it a problem of a row not having 2 criminals? Because in this situation, Vicky would have to be a criminal so that row 5 has 2 criminals. Every other row has 2 criminals. Like, row 3 is gonna have 2 criminals. There's no way for it not to have 2 criminals. Row 2 already has 2. Row 1 already has 2. And row 4 also has 2 in this scenario. If we change it, though, what I was testing is Olaf. What if he's a criminal, which makes both Nicole and Uma innocents? Now Samira has her 3rd innocent here in Nicole, which would make Vicky a criminal again. So what we found based on that is that Vicky has to always be a criminal. But I want to finish the scenario. Because maybe Zoe could be a criminal. I mean, it wouldn't really matter if Zoe is a criminal or not. Because Vicky has to be a criminal because of Samira. Even if Zoe is a criminal. And vice versa. You know? Did that make sense? Did I explain it right? Vicky now says there's a number of criminals that were employed. We know that Bonnie and Gabe are opposites as well, right? I didn't forget that. I didn't. Sorry. I did forget to put the text back, but I didn't forget that about Chola. So there's an odd number of criminals neighboring Floyd, and that odd number is composed by Katie and either Bonnie or Gabe. That's two. An even number, so we need a third person. There's only Aaron left, so Aaron is a criminal as well, and we don't need Vicky's clue anymore. We know that Nicole and Petra are opposites as well because of Samira, so might be worth tagging that. Aaron says that exactly two criminals on the edges have an innocent directly above them. So everybody in row 1 is not included because they don't have anybody above them. People on the edge who have innocents above them. Katie and either Uma or Zoe. Which means that neither Wanda or Vicky could have innocents above them. Because there's no way, since Olaf and Uma are opposites, there's no way for there not to be a second criminal here with an innocent above them. Unless Zoe's an innocent. And if an innocent has an innocent above them, that doesn't matter. How would that go? Tyler would need his third criminal to be Samira, which would make Gabe innocent and Bonnie criminal. Samira's third innocent is here, so that makes Petra criminal. She was opposite with Nicole, so that makes sense. Does that not break? Seems it doesn't. Does it break if it was the opposite? I'm not sure. I'm looking for innocents on the edges, above somebody else. And the only one in this scenario is Floyd and Uma. Now, clear everybody, make Olaf innocent. So now we have Uma, Nicole, both criminals. Nicole's opposite with Petra, who is gonna be an innocent. And now we have 3 people on the edge, Vicky, Uma, and Katie, who have innocents above them. So we know that Olaf is a criminal, which makes Uma and Nicole innocent. Nicole makes Petra criminal. Tyler still needs a third criminal. Well, we know it has to be Zoe, right? Because we need somebody to be a criminal on the edge with an innocent above them. And it has to be Zoe. It couldn't be Wanda because Wanda is not a criminal. So that's Tyler's third criminal, which makes Samira an innocent, who's opposites with Gabe, who's opposites with Bonnie. Okay. Really nice. I really wanted to... Only 16 minutes. I really wanted to make sure there that I was seeing every possibility. I'm afraid of yellows. I can see the color yellow in front of me for several days now. Please. So it makes me really proud when I get it right. And I really want to make sure that I'm not letting anything slip up. So really happy about that. Hope you guys understood the mechanics and enjoy the video. I'll leave you here for today. Check if you have a community option in your Clues by Sam home and send them my way. Let's see how I do if I get any puzzles from you. Good luck and bye-bye.